morning, and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. And when you listen, stream, or download straight to your device, Castbox is your best option. Remember, if you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started. Enjoy the show.
All right, guys. Good morning, good night. Tino here from the Body Snatchers podcast. I'm hanging out with Gia today. Gia, what's up?
Not much. Working on costumes, living my life. Just got over being sick with the plague.
Okay, all right. So you're dying. Got it.
I was dying, but then I miraculously healed, and now I'm better.
Okay. Well, hopefully that sun kiss does you right. And
I'm not supposed to be drinking it.
I know it was pettiness. And we've got a very special guest today that I think should introduce themselves.
Hey, my name is Kels. Well, I go by Kels, but I've been doing my thing on Twitch and everything, but I'm a new guy. And I love anime and video games, so that's what I do. And as you see behind me, I got a lot of stuff behind me, so
All the dopeness.
big time nerd. Yeah, all the stuff. I still got more to add, so yeah.
You've I was checking out your Twitch channel earlier. You're really close to hitting your 500 mark, aren't you?
Yeah, real close. I'm actually quite surprised. I've been doing it for like 4 years, but military, time is never consistent, so
It's whatever, man. If you're building it up, though, I mean, people are following.
I just kind of want to roll it back to that getting Kels to introduce himself. I'm sorry, is Kels multiple people now? Because you said I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, like with a plural S at the end.
I mean, it
You
might
could
be.
just said themself, himself.
Honestly, it's my large ethnic lips. I meant for a singular thing to come out. But
Oh, and then the S came out. You got a lisp because of it.
Mhm.
if
I mean, if you,
Got the Mike Tyson lips.
a little bit. I never had my tongue clipped as a baby. They did it when I was like 7. They were like, we can take off like this much. So like my
Oh,
lisp
God.
kind of went away. Yeah, I had to take special classes when I was little, so I'll be crying after this podcast episode.
Good. Glad that I already got that out of the way.
I wish that was a joke. It was just like some real shit I'm saying right now.
No, I know, and I'm glad that you're going to be crying afterwards. My mission is
Jesus.
accomplished today.
See, and people wonder why I'm so goddamn cynical. Thanks, Gia.
Because of Gia.
That's good to know. I did not know that. Wow.
The more you know. There was an attempt.
If you could just edit in the star going across with my hand, that'd be great.
And I may. And also, in regards to your YouTube channel, you've been doing this for a little bit now. How's your YouTube channel coming along?
My YouTube channel's honestly been dead because when I left Japan, I was like active with it. But then when I came to recruiting duty, I don't get much time. So I haven't been focusing on the YouTube aspect.
Okay.
I had to take away my Adobe Premiere Pro and all that stuff that I've been working with, and then I just straight focus on Twitch now. So
You know what would
unfortunately,
fix that?
was a
You know what would fix that?
what?
Leaving the active duty and going to the reserves.
I thought about that many times.
You know what? It's treating me well. In the guard. Oh, you gotta do the BS 1 weekend a month. And then like in March, I go to Germany for 2.5 weeks. That's gonna be swell.
Nice.
Just for random training.
Then
It's
you
gonna
can
be
play.
great.
You can play
One day.
and get 20,000 fans.
Oh man, yeah. So recruiting's been taking my life, so I've just been streaming whenever I can. Late nights.
So your
Yeah.
main focus now is obviously streaming, then, eh?
Yeah, and I'll try to make some videos from Twitch clips because I can record with the OBS settings and stuff that I made. So yeah, I've been trying to do that, but it's just video editing takes forever.
Oh no, I understand. So do what you got to do, man. I feel you.
He can make us the sweetest overlays too. Just
Yes, I
let
do
you know.
that. Yeah, it's fun.
Feel free to send some.
Get real creative.
Yeah, because I have not had the time to work on them the way that I'd like to. Life is just like, nah, I don't think so. I don't know. But in regards to today's topic, Gia, you want to let people know?
We are going to be talking about YuYu Hakusho, Ghost Files, and it's going to be great. We're going to talk about young 14-year-old Urameshi and his shitty life before he sacrifices himself to save a kid and then surprises the whole underworld, so then they let him revive as a spirit detective.
It's a
And there's lots of tournaments.
it's a solid ass anime. It really is.
It is. It's pretty good.
And I guess the main thing that I want to bring to the table today is that I think it's super underrated. There's so many people that started watching anime around let's say 05 or something. So at this point they've got some stripes under their belt and they've never watched it. And a lot of their favorite anime from that 05 and on era is all based on Yu Yu Hakusho. In fact, I just went back and
It's not
watched it.
inaccurate.
There's a ton of stuff. So like I made a meme the other day, kind of like more of like a comparison, not necessarily a meme, but it was the fight with one of the I'm trying to think where it was. Season 1, Yu Yu Hakusho, and I think it's Kurama who's fighting. He uses his Rose Whip against Genbu.
You mean his badass whip?
The Rose Whip is fucking dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's using it against Genbu, and basically he's fighting. Genbu's like this big stone lizard-ish dragon kind of monster, and he's whooping his ass and breaks him up into multiple segments. And no matter how much he breaks him up, it's to the point where he's breaking the rocks down in like dust, and he still can't beat him. The rocks are still floating around. It keeps coming back together, and the way that he ends up defeating him ends up being like a little kind of like a control rock, like his heart, his soul, whatever you want to call it. And I just thought it was funny because in One Punch Man, towards the ending, one of the main aliens that like all the heroes are fighting on Earth have to fight a demon or alien rather that has like the exact same setup.
Yeah, it's a big ass rock dude with a little marble that's his like center.
And I remember watching it like the first time and it wasn't clicking. I'm like, no, I've seen this somewhere. Like, where the hell? And then when I went back to watch Yu Yu Hakusho again, I was like, really? Like they
and they straight up just bit off them.
I mean, we can just throw this out there. Every new anime has recycled bits from older anime. That's just, it is what it is. It's gonna happen. Yeah. They even literally go so far as to take literal like scenes from older anime, and all they do is they change the characters to the new characters, and it's exactly the same exact fight choreography and everything. So I mean,
yeah, I love when people do like those side by sides. So I mean, but yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with that. And even when I was thinking about just the setup with the spirit detectives and what's going on with Spirit World, the Demon World, it reminded me a lot of Bleach. Like it kind of made me lose a lot of respect for Bleach because I'm like the Serete and just all those guys and what you have going on with the Hollows, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like again, I feel like this might be the same shit.
Seems like recycled plot.
It's like, wait a minute, I've seen this somewhere.
And what's crazy is Yu Yu Hakusho came from the Dragon Ball Z era, and we were gonna tiptoe around it. I should say I was gonna tiptoe around it, just because I didn't want to piss everybody off in one fell swoop. But like let's just be honest here. I don't understand how Dragon Ball Z can be doing as good as it is, and like everybody knows about it, and like people are just like, Yu Yu Hakusho, what's that? Like,
what is that?
So honestly, I think it is because I honestly don't remember seeing Yu Yu Hakusho on Cartoon Network back in the day, which is where Dragon Ball Z got its like head up. Same thing with Sailor Moon, and then like they would show it early in the morning on like Fox at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. But on Cartoon Network, they had Toonami, and Toonami had like the staple animes. You had Dragon Ball Z, you had Sailor Moon, and it was like the unedited Sailor Moon episodes. Then you had like Outlaw Star, you had the Cowboy Bebops. So
did you feel
they weren't showing Yu Yu Hakusho, and I think it's because they were like, well, we already have this one tournament-based anime. Why would we have two going on? That doesn't make sense. So they really didn't play it. So for me growing up, the reason that I found out about it, my dad worked at the post office for a really long time, like a really ridiculously long time. And one of his workmates, which ended up being my capoeira instructor years later, he was a Marine. He was a boxer in the Marines, actually. So I figured that would be some cool trivia for you, Kels. He did really well. But he would lend my dad these DVDs for Yu Yu Hakusho. And my dad was like, fuck yeah, let's watch this anime. And like, I mean, I was watching shit like Ricky O back in the day. I don't know if y'all seen that, but it's the live action one where the dude's like in jail and he like punches clean through someone's stomach and like all the guts are so fake, but they're just falling out. It's like the story of Ricky.
I had to look it up.
Yeah, dude, it's good. It's so bad that it's good. But he would lend my dad these videos. So like every month it was always the same. Like, when's that next Yu Yu Hakusho coming out? Got to watch the next 4 episodes on this one single DVD, and then cry because we got like a whole nother month to wait.
Fair enough. And and I'm glad you brought up that point, because I think how I found out about it is we used to have like this super hood video store, because like my family didn't have money. We didn't go to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video like everybody else.
Was it that Family Video on Stager Road?
Not even there. Take a step lower than that. It was called Video Events. What? And some super old white dude owned it. They had like no movies, but they had this little kids section, where you get like the free videos. And in there, he had a bunch of like random VHS tapes, like of, you know, anime and stuff. So like I would grab them and he had no idea what they were in there. And that's actually how I found Devilman, Guyver, YuYu Hakusho movies. Initially is how I found out about
All them things you shouldn't have been watching as a child.
He had no idea what was in them. And like I popped those in the VCR, you know, in my little kids area, you know, my parents had no idea. And I was just
And then
like,
you saw Devilman rip off Siren's or Siren or however you want to call her now. You just saw him rip off her tatas, huh?
you know what? I remember as a kid, that wasn't even the shocking like thing for me. The most shocking thing I saw as a kid was probably Ninja Scroll because I had never been exposed to anything like that.
I remember that.
So when like that dude grabbed that ninja girl and was like, "Nah, this is what's about to happen," I was like, and then when I seen what
and then he was just like in all his Rocky glory, it was just like peeled her fucking shirt off like she was a banana and was just like,
right. Let me give you 2 licks to the center. I was like, oh my god. And but then to fast forward, the fact that like first off, okay, I'm a little kid. I just found out that women have coochies. Okay, what the hell? and then this dude's just taking it, and I'm like, that's probably not good. And then her coochie killed him. I was like, oh god, so he had coochie and it killed.
Well, because she's poison.
Yeah, well,
the poison chick.
Yeah, I figured that out, but I mean, like in the back of my mind, I was just like, you know, is there poison coochie out there? Is that a thing? Like, I gotta.
Really I mean, if they grow up eating poison, I guess.
Well, I think it depends on the girl. There's probably a lot of poison out there.
Oh, there might be. I don't know. I wouldn't want to think about that. That just means it's gross and probably unwashed and ew.
Well,
yeah.
You got to do a scratch and sniff. So,
why would you need to scratch it though? Like, I'm pretty sure. You know what? Never mind. All right, Kel. So,
is there layers?
Let's talk about your anime childhood.
Well, actually, my first anime that I've actually watched was Gundam, and that was on Cartoon Network.
Endless Waltz?
And it was Endless Waltz and Gundam Wing. Like that was like my first introduction. I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And I started watching.
Dude was the most savage dude.
Hiro
yeah.
Hiro,
he's just like
no chill.
Chick's like, "Here's an invite to my birthday party."
He was like,
"I don't like y'all anyway. I'm gonna kill you." Rips it, walks away like.
Yeah, and Endless Waltz is gold. He's one of my all-time favorites.
Gundam, like that. Since that was my first, and I always loved robots and stuff. I was hooked to that. And then the next, anime, I was like, "What is this?" And then my brother, he told me about this Dragon Ball Z stuff. I'm like, "What is Dragon Ball Z?" I would come home from school and watch that nonstop, and just the tension in Dragon Ball Z and everything was just like. And they sit there forever and talk.
5 minutes takes 30 episodes to go through. We're gonna talk about
but
that.
I didn't care. I was a little kid. I was so hyped about it. I was like, I didn't see that until like years later. Like, whoa, why did it take so many damn episodes just to get to the point? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Dragon Ball Z was just, I'm just gonna say it. Dragon Ball Z is for stupid people and children.
I can't disagree.
I'm just gonna say it. It's for stupid.
Well, no, okay, let me take that back. It's not only because I don't like going back and looking at the story. Like it was really subpar. Like Dragon Ball was really good, but then they were like, "Let's get this cash cow and keep milking it," and it just got worse and worse. And I mean, we branched off into GT, which was terrible for the first half, got kind of better in the second half, and then they completely erased it with DBS. And then DBS is more of the same. They took 30 freaking episodes of the first season of DBS to explain a movie that already explained everything that I had to do. And it's just like, why are we recapping this? And then I waited until all of those episodes of filler were done to get to the Tournament of Power just to be upset because it was like literally the same shit rehashed over and over again, which again is most anime these days. But you would figure that they wouldn't just keep redoing the same types of tournaments like 20 million times in a row.
No, well, I'll give them this. Like, Super has a lot more depth to it that most of Dragon Ball Z never had. I
hope you see my look that I'm giving you right now.
Oh, I see it. Suck it. So,
here's Akira Toriyama. I don't like the color red. It's too harsh, and it just means people are angry. Let's make Goku's hair blue, because blue is for calm, and now he can use Kaioken as a Super Saiyan, because, anger doesn't mix with Kaioken, and he couldn't do it in any of the other Super Saiyan modes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, super in-depth.
Okay.
The most in-depth thing ever. Now,
I
like Dragon Ball. I like the movies, but it's... if I have nothing else to watch, I watched Dragon Ball to catch up.
Okay, but check it. Like it's not the most in-depth thing. Like don't misinterpret what I'm saying, but it's still written better than what a lot of the old stuff was for Dragon Ball Z. Let me be a little more specific.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was a lot of. It seemed like a lot of
it's-
winging things and just making it longer episodes to get to the point, and just so the writers can just be like, okay, all right, what are we gonna think of next? Okay, let's make this episode like last a little bit long by talking. And just building up
but
to
that's
the
the thing. They didn't need to do that because everything is being based off of the manga. And I mean, there's a lot of things that weren't canonical to the manga that were in the anime, but it's not like they needed to. Like they had all of that material to pull from. They were just like, let's do these new things because animation and we can do new stuff in animation. Let's see how this power looks when it crackles over Goku when he's yelling for fucking 10 minutes just to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, but
yeah,
you hear what I'm saying though. So like with Dragon Ball,
I understand what you're saying. It is definitely better than Z is. I just wanted to pick at you.
Well, Dragon Ball Z had a couple of issues though. It's one with them putting so much emphasis on the Saiyans, it made every other character irrelevant.
Not really matter.
Yeah, and they tried a couple times, like, oh, Tien's holding off Cell. Come on now, really?
We all know.
Even as a kid, we're just kind of like, I don't know if that adds up. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's just how it was. They became irrelevant, and they tried to put more emphasis on the children since they were also Saiyans, but like it also kind of didn't make a lot of sense because.
Well, they tried to, but every time they tried to make the children take over, fans in Japan lost their shit and will like start sending death threats. How dare you try to get rid of Goku? And it's just like, so it's just the same recycle. Like, all right, Goku gets this magical power up. Goku comes back and helps from the grave.
Well,
Goku
was holding back this whole time.
But
oh my god, Goku can actually do that.
Well, that's
and one thing that I was really happy for in S was that they gave Vegeta like they started hashing out, and Vegeta's a much better character than Goku is, like, from the fucking get-go. He's actually father. I mean, he beats the shit out of his kids to help them power up, but, I mean, he was still there raising his kids, unlike a certain absentee father. And then his character completely makes it like a almost 180. I'm gonna say he makes like a 160, because he's still kind of an asshole. I'm like, I'm the Prince of all Saiyans. I'm better than y'all just on that merit. But
well,
they could have kept going with Vegeta.
Well, I mean,
better.
I don't know about that, but going back to what you were saying,
would have been better.
As far as like the children, what with the death threats and all that, that was more so Gohan specifically. He was intended to take over, but honestly, the more I think about it, because for years that's like just how I felt, but when I really put some thought into it, I'm like, the show would have been exactly the same. It just would have been ass pulls for Gohan instead of Goku. Like they would have done the exact same thing.
Well, and they still ass pulled for Gohan.
Yeah,
afterwards.
That's the whole series is ass pulls, written not very well. And with Dragon Ball Super, they tried to do the Tournament of Power and bring in all these characters when Goku selected his team of fighters for their universe. But again, like it just felt like a failed attempt. That's just where I'm at, and I kind of want to leave that alone because we're getting heavier in the Dragon Ball than I had intended. Hey. Moving back to YuYu Hakusho, this is like really good. You've got your four main fighters, and they all have vastly different backgrounds. Like you can relate to. Really, I think anybody can find one of those characters to relate to. And, what's funny is, for the people who have seen it, going back and rewatching it as a kid, I always hated Kuwabara. I completely couldn't stand his character. I thought he was a pussy. I hated his hair. I hated, I thought he was weak. But going back and rewatching it, I honestly have to say he's one of my favorite characters for reasons that I would have never thought about. Like he actually has a lot of character depth. Probably more so than everybody else. He cares more.
He cares a lot.
Yeah, and it's like when he wins his battles, like their battles, he probably shouldn't be winning, but like it never feels like a direct ass pull. Like like he is on the cusp of death and wins due to some technicality and kind of learns a new ability, and it's not OP like every other fighter. On
like
his team.
With his 1,000 eyeballs that pop up out of his skin.
That dude had surgical implants. Oh. He's a cheater. But even he has a good backstory, with what happened with his sister and his mother, and that's a lot of stuff that people forget
and his
about.
Napoleon complex.
Fucking petty. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like with all of them, they have really good character development. Like they each have like a unique story. It doesn't feel half-assed. It didn't feel like it was, a rehash of something else when you're watching it. It felt new, unique. I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at with it. What about you, Ethan? How did you feel about this as a whole? I know it's been a while since you've watched it, so I don't want to put you on the
It's
spot.
been a hot minute, but I like when it came to Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, I didn't really find like any issues with it. Like I was hooked to it, not as much as Dragon Ball Z, because I have many examples of that. But it definitely kept my attention. Just all the action and stuff, and then just seeing how each character develops throughout the whole episodes and everything. It was definitely had me wanting to watch it some more. Not like overly hyping like Dragon Ball Z with the talking told so damn much and then it takes forever. This one was actually straight to the point, and
You don't like
it made
monologuing?
a lot of sense.
Well, here's what was really important for me regarding the fight scenes, and we can compare them between a couple anime. So, like with Dragon Ball Z, it's very straightforward. They're yelling, they're powering up. Somebody's going to shoot a blast, and if they're not able to win, somebody's on the losing end. If it's a villain, then they may threaten to blow up the earth or kill somebody, and that's pretty much the recipe for most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. With Yu Yu Hakusho, you don't know what you're going to get. Like somebody gets into the ring and they're like, yes, I have this crazy ability where I can move my organs wherever the hell I want. And I also regenerate. There's no way that you can beat me because I'm fighting an opponent who has a spirit sword.
I was just about to say, or we could remember that Urameshi was just like, I got these finger guns. Like the whole time.
But
that was pretty dope.
Which still wasn't bad because he ended up like getting some pretty cool like upgrades to his like spirit abilities. But I mean, to be fair, I was real mad that was like his only attack at first. He was like, spirit gun.
But even with spirit gun, it wasn't like, okay, so like with Dragon Ball Z, Goku would spam Kamehamehas until he randomly would say some shit like, I'm out of energy
he still
now.
Spams Kamehamehas.
Like, what do you mean you're out? And then somebody's like, I'm going to give you energy because we can do this now. What? Like, it would just happen.
Give me your energy. I'm out of ideas.
Thank you. Now it's time for the Dragon Fest. And then that was, every Dragon Ball movie ever.
Yeah. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku uses Kamehameha again.
I hate hearing that voice. You just sit there so close to it. It's just
like. But with like Yu Yu Hakusho, like specifically the spirit gun, it had so many drawbacks. Like they would at first, I think the very first time he used it, I want to say it was like on a teacher or something who was possessed in the school. It was something like much more low caliber. And we were like, oh my God, he's got this crazy ability. But fast forward, by the time he got to the Dark Tournament, I mean, he was like, okay, I've got 3 shots in the chamber before he would go into battle. And like you're hearing him like narrate and like, they're like, why isn't he using it? And like, it would go back and forth and then he'd use it. And then somebody, for whatever reason, like it wouldn't affect him or he would expect Yusuke to use it. So like they, dodge it and they know he only has 2 shots left. Like they would just really bring your head into the game to where like now you're thinking almost as if you, the viewer, are a tactician. Like, how can he do it if he's only got 2 left and he missed 1? I mean, like,
yeah, and he has to do all this other stuff to try to like be relevant.
Yeah, and it's just for me, I absolutely love anime like that, and I also love anime with surprises. Like Super Saiyan, as cool as it is still kind of an ass pull. It's really not any different than I'm going to charge up. Like I get that, they tried to build on top of it and add more backstory and all that. And that's great. And it made sense at first until they were like, oh, legendary Super Saiyan. We met the Super Saiyan God. Like it's just so messy now.
I will throw this out there. I do miss Super Saiyan 4 because of vest made out of fur and you get your tail back.
Well, technically,
can we talk about this?
That was pretty creative.
And they were wearing the cool ass red eyeliner. Like, yes, please bring that back. And then they were like, no, we're just going to erase everything about GT. We're just going to go to being gods.
Well, GT, was, with the exception of the transformations, was pretty terrible.
I didn't really even watch GT like that either.
The first half was real garbage. I will agree. But the second half, to me, I thought was really well. Like, I personally liked it because they started going after all the Dark Dragon Balls that were like cracked and having to fight each of the dragons and everything.
That part was cool.
I thought that was pretty cool. Personally,
it was, but like Baby Vegeta, I have mixed feelings about Baby Vegeta. Like I liked the character, but at the same time, it was depressing because I wanted to see Vegeta go up against an enemy. I didn't want to see him taken over, and that was kind of like the highlight of that. Brutes Waves was a stupid ass concept. I think that was just dumb. They shouldn't have cut off the tails in the first place. It just was sloppy to me. And then the very beginning was such a big turnoff because was it the evil Shenron comes out of the Dragon Balls and he's smoking a big giant cigar, and it's like
What is this?
He's evil, man. His Dragon Balls got corrupted. You know,
Where
corrupt
do you get a
folks
cigar from?
smoke
Like,
cigars.
Like,
Maybe he just had one in Dragon World, okay? Why you gotta judge this man smoking his cigars?
could you imagine if in Dragon Ball Super, like the Super Dragon Balls came together and that big ass Golden Shenron came out and he was smoking a big cigar? Like nobody would have. Well, actually, I take that back. Everybody probably would have bought into it, but I would have.
You wouldn't have
I
liked
would have
Mob.
turned off the TV. I would have.
You really would have turned off the TV on Mob Boss Shenron. Like you'd have just been like, Shenron, fuck you, you smoking a cigar. You look like a boss, but fuck you. I'm not watching this.
It's like, yeah, I'm good. You just go and watch something else out.
Speaking of transformations, you know who had the coolest transformation in YuYu Hakusho?
Oh, I know, and I know exactly what you're gonna say.
My boy Kurama, whose name is, hold on, gotta find right here. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna show up in the, but you should just put it there anyway. It says Kurama down here on my name.
It's definitely not showing up.
Oh, bitch.
Yeah,
It's on my screen. I see all y'all's names. Anyway, but...
Yeah, I see it in yours. It was on the
man,
opposite side.
It's just her awkward
thank
finger.
you, Ethan. Thank you. But, okay, so over here, I guess, is where you guys see
There
it.
it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
mine's over on this side. But yeah, dude, like, he turns into his yokai form, and dude's hair turns white. He gets these awesome-ass fox ears, and he's just a badass. Like, he's, like, chucking actual roses at people on top of his rose whip. He's like the Tuxedo Mask of the spirit world.
He is. And you know what's cool about his character is, like, you know, when he taps into that power, one, it was originally his power, and they give you a very fair explanation as to why he no longer accesses it. And
Because he was a dick.
yeah, pretty much.
Sorry.
But
He's an asshole. That's why he doesn't want to do it.
but two, when he goes, you know, into the tournament and he gets hit with I forget what the technicality was. I can't remember if it was like a magic item or something of that nature. But it was supposed to revert back in time and turn him into like a baby, make him useless so he could kill him. But of course, the asshole who did it to him didn't know that, hey, this dude's actually thousands of years old and he's going to revert into his demon form. That was cool. That was a nice touch. Nobody saw that coming. And like, you know, they never really showed a flashback of like the way he looked completely, like just kind of like a shadowy glimpse. So like we were like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? And he's OP with the plants. And then afterwards, because he had tapped into that power, he was slowly gaining the ability to go back into it. I mean, that was good writing, I think. As opposed to...
Unlike Hiei, who I did like as a child and I still like, but his transformations, albeit badass, were completely asshole-ish. Like,
he's the equivalent of Black China in 2018.
Oh.
Yeah, I said it. He went under the knife, man. That's why he's cold. Like, he's still a really good character. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm just being petty, but it is a little awkward that they had a whole.
Do it.
I wish I had like my fucking cloak over here so I could just pull it up and be like, "Be petty, do it."
Okay, we'll be petty. It was a little bit weird to have a whole side arc where I think it was like a 2 or 3 episode explanation where he like goes in to the woods in Demon World to like some cabin and he's just like, I heard that you do plastic surgery and I need you to put this Dragon eye in my body, you know.
I just picture that.
But you know, yeah, like
I need you to do this thing.
Like Kanye West mom, too soon. But you know what? Might be too soon.
I got the souls of unbaptized babies to give you in return for this eye.
Oh, well, I mean, it happens. But you know, it was still well told though, the way that they did it, because they were like, okay, so from the time that you're born and, you know, being a young man now, you've established all this power. And basically, if we put the Dragon Eye into your body, you're going to revert back to the same power level you would have had as a small child or an infant. And you'd have to start over like completely. That was kind of a nice touch to it. So, I mean, it showed that it wasn't just like, I got this eye and now I'm super cold. Like, they were like, you got this eye and you're probably definitely going to die. You're jailbait now. And
yeah, but then he went through this awesome training that just got his power right back right away, pretty much. Like, it wasn't right away, but, you know, they just, like, did the Rocky montage, the road to power.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it all worked out for him, I suppose.
It did. But yeah, I definitely agree that, like, the 4 main folks were pretty solid. Like, even though, like, now looking back, he is kind of a dick, and then, like, Kurama was a dick when he was, like, super demon mode. And then you even have Urameshi, and I, like, mentioned it in the beginning, but you have this 14-year-old kid who, like, a lot of the character designs are based on like biker gang Japan in the 90s and 80s and everything. So that's why we have Kuwabara with the pompadour that's like sticking out 20 feet in front of him.
Which
Yeah, I
And
was like, what is that?
I
And
love
then
I love that
Urameshi-
now, for the record.
Yeah. And then Urameshi with his like bandages high up on his stomach and like his jacket all open, with the bancho style. But like he was not a good person, like not at all. And then, you know, he jumps out to save this kid, and nobody was expecting it, like not at all. None of them. And they were just like, this wasn't even your time to die. Like you were supposed to die later. And, you know, I guess we should give you props for, you know, being a good person. And then you just slowly see him start to become a better and better person, because he's basically like he's forced to become a spirit detective and like take care of like misdemeanor demons and spirits that are out in the world. And then he just like becomes a good person. And then you have Kuwabara, who you thought like might have been a delinquent, but he's actually like a really good dude. And like he was always like that bro dude, like, hey, let's figure this out, let's fix this. And nobody liked him at first because they're like, you're ruining all the fun. But he was like, he's a really solid dude.
Facts.
So
as we approach our time for this evening, I kind of want everybody to talk about some of their favorite things from the show. In fact, I'll start. I never start. Here's kind of like my three favorite elements from the show. One would be probably Yusuke and his relationship with Pooh. Or Pew. I forget the translation. But that's probably like, I don't know, it was just really like heartwarming. So basically that's like his like spirit animal. And when Yusuke's on the
his
cusp
little
of
sweet ass penguin
thingy with big ears, and when you know Yusuke's on the cusp of death or dies, all that stuff, the same stuff happens to Pooh. And there's, you know, a one moment where I think he's training, Genkai is training Yusuke, and he's like literally about to die. Like he's right there. And Pooh's like, come on, get up. And they're like motivating each other to like live. I don't know. Single tear came down my face. That was one of my favorite moments out of that.
I don't believe you about the tear, but okay.
Fuck you, Gia. It's still right here. It dried up. It's very salty. And then I think Genkai, who I just mentioned, the relationship with Yusuke, I really, really liked, because all he ever did was call her an old hag. And then he found out that she was super awesome outside of just the ability of fighting, but just her knowledge and how much she actually cared for him. Very, very good story. Great development, because they started off, he was just like, bitch, get out of my face. I don't want to train, and she's like, you're a slacker. That whole relationship was great all the way through. You didn't get that from Goku and Roshi. You didn't get that at all.
Nope.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
And then I think probably my favorite thing was in the final season. The end of the third season going into the final season. Spoiler alert, Yusuke dies, but this time when he dies, he awakens, his demon blood. We find out that his ancestral father is one of like the three demon kings in Demon World, and like that was a nice twist. Like we were all just like, what the fuck? Like they're on Earth fighting somebody who has nothing to do with any of that. I don't understand. And then like because of that, transformations came, and they were able to go into a whole other area that we thought they probably wouldn't or couldn't. So yeah, that's kind of it for me. What about you, Ethan? With what you can remember, dig deep. Remember who you are, like Mufasa.
Well, I would say like when it came to like the story, like I was not bored. Because usually animes, it takes like a few episodes for you to get into it, and you're just sitting there like, is this going to be good or not? Well, the first two episodes, I was immediately like hooked to it, because it actually had a good story, and I can actually latch on to characters. It's like, oh, okay, let me get into this, and just how the action was. It wasn't always like you were saying before. It wasn't like predictable. And it was like always some random stuff happening. And it was just like, whoa, what the heck is going on? This guy has this power. It's like, what did he get that from? It was just always something different. And that kept my, attention for a long time, even though I did not finish all of the seasons or anything like that. But
so I hit you with a spoiler, and that hurt, didn't it?
No, not really.
Are you sure?
Kinda.
I saw your facial expression. I apologize. I mean, 20-year-old spoilers, my bad.
Yeah, it was still a good show regardless. I would definitely want to rewatch it again. Because it had my attention from the second episode, and usually some animes take me a while to get into it. It's just like, okay, get to the point. Where's the action? What's going on with this? But at least I had a mixture of that, and I actually was pretty interested. So that was good about it.
And a quick interjection, just for people who are curious, who want a nice place to watch this. You can find it pretty much anywhere online, but if you have the Funimation app, they have all 4 seasons on there with sub and dub. So whatever your preference is, whatever
Sub.
your preference is there.
I'm gonna do a quick top 3 because I had a whole list of them actually. But 1, Kurama when he mind fucked Elder Toguro. So Kurama was real angry and he lost his cool in that situation and he just like really like blew that dude's mind and it was pretty good. Going through which ones. Genkai's Roost, it's revealed that the characters that have been introduced as like villains were actually Genkai's henchmen. And then you realize that Genkai really was like the bad guy of the time and you were just like, holy shit.
Agreed.
And then the very last one, when Ryzen took over Yusuke. I don't know if you remember who Ryzen is.
I mean,
anybody?
Yeah, I do.
Crickets?
Yeah,
I don't.
Okay.
his ancestors. You know what? The ancestral father.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
mid fight, it's pretty awesome.
yeah. So basically, they didn't just kill the bad guy. So when his demon ancestor, the Mizoku, came back to inhabit his body, and they just beat the shit out of Sensui, only to have Yusuke take over at the last minute. So like Ryzen comes in, and he's just like, "I'm gonna fuck shit up," and then Yusuke literally got control back again, and like literally the last few minutes of the fight to just stop him from being like overdoing.
It's kind of messed up too because when Ryzen takes over, like he beats the shit out of Sensui. Like and I think he fires like a crazy spirit gun attack to finish him off. And as the blast is going, Yusuke regains consciousness of his body, and he's like, "Am I killing you right now? Like what just happened?" Because like he didn't want to kill him, you know.
He blacked out.
Yeah, he's kind of in shock, and you know, whatever. I don't need to go into 100% spoiler here, but I think you can kind of see where this is going.
Yeah.
No, you need to.
But that's it. That's all I got. Watch it. It's good.
And Gia, check your screen real quick. I just sent you this name. I have no idea how to pronounce that properly without butchering it, so I'll let you do it this time. That's our newest patron member.
Oh, I thought it was like a name from a. It looks like it says Nuakzz. But it could be not. I don't know.
Nuakzz.
Nuakzz.
Look, we're happy. we're happy that you're a patron member. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't want to ruin it. I'll tell you what. I'll shoot you an email and I'll give you a second shout out with like your government name because that's the only
Nuakzz.
Is it
that's a new patron?
Is it an acronym?
I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. It's very urban. Times are changing. But all right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you had a good time. I hope you check out YuYu Hakusho if you haven't already. If you are a fan, let us know what you think of the show. Some of your favorite highlights, likes, dislikes, whatever. We need this man Ethan over here to finish watching it. I can't believe he hasn't completed.
Yeah, like when you said it, I was like, I forgot what season I was even on. Like I don't even remember, but I know I watched a good amount of episodes.
He's like, yeah,
these other animes came out. It's just like, oh my god, I don't know what to watch.
Like the Dark Tournament ends, and then that's the whole series, right? It's like, ooh,
no.
Yeah, because I remember watching those episodes, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And
Goro, and that's it, right?
All this stuff is just like,
but wait, there's more.
But Dragon Ball Z was still, had a large impact in my life because. Like my brothers and I, we had like this random sand pit out in it was like a desert spot, but we would like play fight with each other and have like frozen beans and act like sensu beans and everything like that, and we would fight each other and it was so stupid, but we did it.
Frozen beans. You had peas, huh? You had that frozen bag of peas.
Yep, we would do that, and then my older brother he was the main culprit of all this. He would, the whole sensu bean stuff. He would do that stuff and beat the shit out of both of us. And everything, and then it was a good time, back in Dragon Ball Z days. So we had a lot of play fights, which ended up being real serious, but it was fun.
Sensu beans. That's actually the label I have above my cocaine jar.
Sensu peas.
Like how nobody liked that. Okay, got it. All right, guys. Well, Gio, you want to take us out?
Have a great day, great evening, great morning, whenever you're listening to this, and thank you for listening.
And also go check out Ethan. I'm going to go ahead and post his Twitch information in the comments section. So make sure you check him out. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, just the Kel Show. Just Google it up, and you'll definitely see me on Instagram, Twitter, all this other stuff that I'm on.
You playing any
On
good
the
games?
grams.
You playing any good games?
Right now, I've just been stuck on Escape from Tarkov, Insurgency Sandstorm. I was gonna get Black Ops, but I'll wait because that's like overly saturated right now to stream, so no point. PUBG a little bit, kind of boring, but mainly just Tarkov for now.
I'm so happy you just said it's boring. I can't wait to tell John. I was watching him stream tonight. I could have went to sleep.
Yeah, it's just like hide and go seek. That's all it is. And I got 32 kills, and there's this one guy just sitting in the bush like I have 0. I have a machine gun and a ghillie suit. It doesn't get fun. It's just I don't like that.
Trash.
Garbage. Nothing but garbage.
All right, guys.
Garbage.
Check them out. Good night. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Wow, I forgot about that.
I guess Happy New Year. Don't drink and drive. Call AAA. They'll come get your asses, or call your friends that aren't drinking.
You can do it a little bit, but don't get caught.